One. All right, welcome back to Unstuck and Alive. We're here with John David Blagg. He hails from Dumas, Arkansas. You'll notice as he talks, the thicker the accent gets, the more passionate he is about a topic. So you can just put your Southern Arkansas accent gauge on high alert. JD's a dear friend. We spend lots of time in a duck blind together. He currently is running one of the finest duck hunting establishments in the country, FowlCo Outfitters in Oklahoma. Lives in Northwest Arkansas. Played football at SMU. Also spent some time in the contracting world, and we'll get to hear all his story. And the thing I love about you, JD, is the way in which you live life with purpose and get after the things that you're doing. Constantly bringing the Lord into every conversation, and so honored to have you on the show. Nooner, he loves to be interrupted along the way.
I don't want to just interrupt you. I don't want to interrupt JD. I mean, he looks like he's double your size, man.
There's going to be a promise. There's going to be moments where you're going to want to interrupt me.
Let's go.
And Todd, I feel like that's the pot calling the kettle black, all the stuff that you just said about me. So anyway, feelings mutual, bro. And I'm glad. I've loved.
You may not be able to tell it by him sitting down.
I've loved the podcast, and so it's an honor to get to visit with y'all today for sure.
Awesome,
let's do it. Yeah. All right, JD. So let's start out with your story, man. Tell us kind of some of the top moments that formed you into the man you are today, and have provided the lens in which you see life, and has shaped the man that you are, and how you are fleshing out your God-given talents in your adult life.
Well, all right, let's see here. Let's start. Born in Dumas, Arkansas. Yeah, when talk about Dumas, it comes out a little bit. But
Dumas.
If my dad calls, or I start talking about hunting, like we call it the LA, the Lower Arkansas starts to come out. But anyway, born in Dumas, Arkansas. My family farms. My dad's side of the family. Mom is from Warren, Arkansas, which is another little town in southeast Arkansas. And my parents divorced when I was pretty young. Ended up moving to Texarkana, where my mom married a physician in Texarkana. So really my whole upbringing, childhood, and through high school, I was just back and forth between the lower part of Arkansas, from the west side to the east side. I had to be on the farm in the summers working, and that was a huge part of my life, just because that was, I was going to be the fourth generation farming. And so anyway, my dad also was a duck guide, so that was another big part of my life. And the winters, you weren't farming, and so you're in an area that's the duck capital of the world, so you utilize your ground and everything to continue making money. And my dad was really, really good at that, and his buddies that he did it with, I got to really learn from the best and watch the best do it. There's a lot that I took from that whenever we started FowlCo. There's a lot I did not take from that I left there, but there's a lot that I took from that kind of, we'll get there.
Hey,
but anyway, so back from Dumas to Texarkana. And what was fun is growing up, which a lot of these guys, Todd, but growing up, or my brother-in-law. But, growing up, my friends from Dumas remained my friends, and my friends from Texarkana remained my friends. And eventually in college, I went to SMU and played football, but they all went to Arkansas together and were friends. So it was like two worlds colliding. And God, I just see that like what could be, a painful part in somebody's life, their parents divorcing and growing up two different places. I thought it was so cool that I had another line of friends in a different area. And then, now they're all together and best buddies. But anyway, so Texarkana, and that's really where my faith grew. My mom is the most amazing person on the planet. And watching her really go through the divorce with my dad, and where she could have been extremely bitter, and she wasn't. And she never talked bad about my dad. So I think back now, I'm like, God, how did you do? You were so strong. How did you do that? I don't get it, because I would have been. I've got a loose mouth, so I'd have been running it, and she didn't. And she allowed me to have a relationship with my dad, man, because she said, there's nobody's going to teach you how to be an earthly man like your dad. So like all the real manly stuff that you need to know, he's going to teach that to you. But really, her focus was just my spiritual life, and me getting to know my spiritual father. And so, she was very intentional in where we went to church, where was the best youth group, where are the best kids plugged into church. And so I just am so thankful for my mom and her intentionality, and through all the hard, continually pointing us to Christ. And so anyway, so I came into faith in Texarkana at First Baptist Church, and we had a great youth group. But I would say that it was a real faith, but it was kind of a reputation-based faith. Like, I was a good kid. I was being recruited to play football. I didn't want to be the one drinking because I wanted to take football serious, and I wanted people to think I was a good kid, but I also wanted to be a good kid. But it was not because of what Jesus did for me so much. It was a concept in my life, not a reality yet. Right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so,
yeah.
Anyway, go to college. Am I going too fast in this story here?
Hey, brother, you never go too fast.
10-4. All right. So
I will circle back later, but I've got one. But
okay, good. Yeah, let me get through it, and then because I'm extremely ADD, and I did not take any Ritalin this morning, so let me get through it. So anyway, I go to SMU, and kind of backtrack a little bit. My mom's dad was an alcoholic, and so I think my mom was just like, we're not drinking. It kind of drinking, Bobby Bush, isn't it Bobby Boucher and Waterboy? Football is the devil, like alcohol is the devil. And so it was always this big deal, right? Like, you cannot drink. You cannot get it away, hide it. If she was around adults, don't let him see you drinking her. So anyway, that leads to me going to college and being on my own. And I was like, well, I mean, I'm going to see what that drinking is about a little bit. I mean, I'm going to test it. So that led into 4 years of me really leaning into that life and seeing what that was about.
If you're going to dabble, you better dabble hard.
If you're going to fight a grizzly, if you're going to fight a bear, make it a grizzly. And so I live my life by that pretty much. And so when in the good things and the bad, I'm not half-aing it, I'm all in. We're going to meet in the middle of the hole. Anyway, so I did that to kind of see what that was about, because I wasn't allowed to, praise God, in high school. I mean, that's a good rule. But also, nobody was there that I was trying to impress anymore. And so I learned pretty quickly that is empty, and there's nothing. It's full of death, and there was nothing there for me. And so I get done playing football, come back, and I'm not walking with Jesus. I'm still partying, and my mom is heartbroken and praying for me, and my dad, I'm hanging out with my dad and drinking beers and stuff. And I'll never forget, I was at a party, an engagement party, and I had this like outer body experience, like a Dr. Phil moment. This is crazy, but it'll make sense. I was high and drunk at this party, and I knew all these people. I knew what they were going through. I knew the hard things in their life, and everybody was just drunk. And it was like the first time that I saw that all of this was fake. None of this was real. And I literally have this outer body experience, and it could have been the weed, and it could have been, beer or whatever I was drinking. But I just had this moment where I was like looking at everyone, like above everyone. And I could hear audibly God say to me, who are you living for and how's this working for you? And I just remember it was the moment that it went from being a concept to the reality of my life, to where I look back and that path had taken me, and I was pretty low, man. I was dating this girl that cheated on me, and I didn't need to be dating her anyway. It was like, I just started looking at all these, where I was based off of the decisions I had made. And I was like, God, I'm sorry. Like, I have whiffed on this. I've struck out. And so it was the moment when I remember saying this. I was high and drunk and drove back to my grandmother's house on the farm in Dumas. And I would not advise that for anybody to do that. But I get there, and I remember I just had this, like, I was craving the Word of God, like for the first time really in my life. But all the truths that were implanted that my mom intentionally was like putting in my life, it was like, that is what I was clinging to in that moment, right? And I needed it to be true because I needed him to help me work my way out of this. And then I realized I wasn't going to work out of it. He ripped me out of it. And so, man, it was that moment. And I remember calling my mom and saying, Mom, this is what happened. This is what's going on. You know, I'm sorry. I've kind of been running, but I'm done. And y'all, it was that moment that Christ became real in my life. And I needed the death and resurrection to be true. And I needed the eternal hope that he gives us to be real, because my life was going down to the point where when I was at the tail end of that, my brother-in-law, my best friend, Stephen Oaf, who's also been at Trail, and Olivia works up there with you guys. I met my wife, Mindy. He married Whitney, which is my wife's older sister. Okay. So I was the best man in the wedding. She was the maid of honor, my wife. And I remember at their wedding, I was like, dude, your new sister-in-law is kind of hot. Like, I think I want to holler. And, and Stephen looked at me and said, you're not good enough for her.
Oh.
And I was like,
that's why I like Stephen O.
You know, there was none of that. It was like, you're not good enough for her. And I was like, yeah, you're right. So it was during that low point of my life, you know, before the way I described it is, it's like Jesus grabbed my heart, ripped it out, and put a new one in there. And anyway, I remember thinking, Lord, if I don't ever find a girl, if I work at wherever you think of like the crummiest job is, and I have you, that's all I need. That's where I was. And man, it's so cool. I know that God is not a slot machine, but buddy, when I flipped the light switch on, he started putting people in my life that needed to be in my life, and brought my best friend back to me that was kind of holding me at arm's length away from him, because he didn't want to be involved in what I was wrapped up in. Yeah, man. So any questions to this point?
I mean, probably 100. And Todd,
okay.
Todd will tell you.
You want me to finish and then we'll come back?
Yeah, sure. Keep going.
Todd?
Good.
Come on. Yeah.
All right. So then these guys that so my mom is an unbelievable musician. And so she taught me how to play guitar when I was young. And these guys that I played in the youth band with, I played guitar, you know, phenomenal. For some reason, we had phenomenal musicians in Texarkana. Like, one of my best friends was the lead guitarist for Chris Tomlin from senior year of high school till last year, you know. And we lived next door to each other, and we learned, his dad was teaching us scales and rock licks, and my mom was teaching James Taylor and finger picking and folk music. And it was really rad that we had two incredible musicians as parents teaching us how to play music. Well, I just remember praying that God would just put people in my life that I needed in my life. Well, here come all these guys that we played in the youth band together. So we start a band, and we actually like signed a record deal, and we toured for years. And, you know, during that time, Stephen finally told Mindy, okay, John David's good enough for you now. And so I started burning her CDs. I would like, you know, I was going to get her because I knew she loved music. So I would spend all this time making this playlist of burned CDs, and I'd mail them to her, and then I'd mail her some more, and we'd talk on the phone a little bit. Then I finally started going to Fayetteville and visiting her, and we started dating actually and got serious, and to the point where she started coming out on the road with our band. When we were going on tour, she was the merch girl. She would set the merch table up and sell T-shirts and CDs. And anyway, it was a fun time in my life, man, because it was just like it was like free. I was free, and I was around people that were pointing me to Christ. I was doing something that I love to do. It's like God gave me this amazing opportunity to utilize this skill set that he gave me, and I was loving it. I was in it. Well, that ended up not fizzling out, but it's kind of a weird deal. We had an album that took too long to record, and all the steam that we had we lost it. But we were opening up for huge acts. I mean, like some of the biggest acts in the country and playing the biggest venues in the country, and so it was a dream to get to do that. So I'm trying to show you all the different points that brought me to FowlCo. So after Pilot Drift stopped, I didn't know what I wanted to do. And a buddy of mine said, hey man, let's do I'm starting a trim carpentry business. Come work with me. So I did, learned trim carpentry, and we did really good. And that turned into me managing some jobs. And then I had another buddy that lived in Fayetteville that I grew up with from Southeast Arkansas, who had inherited a lot of money and had some commercial property up here in Fayetteville that I did not know about. But in the meantime, for some reason, Mindy and I got married. Forgot to tell you that. We got married in the middle of there somewhere.
That's the capital good enough. That's the capital good enough.
It was the music.
Yeah.
It was the music. She thought...
Was it the burn CD?
It was. I think that she thought she was going to be on a tour bus for the rest of her life. I think that I button hooked her.
You button hooked me.
Yeah. I don't know what else you would call that. She thought we were going left and we went hard right. But anyway, so just also to that, like we get married. I know I skipped over that, but I'm trying to get through kind of what all I've done, and I need to slow down and speak to that a little bit. Another just shows just God's kindness is the family that I got in Mindy. You know, her brother John has gotten to be one of my best friends. Like he's somebody I'd call if I have something hard I'm going through. I need some advice. I mean, like I'm thankful that I could call any one of those family members and they would give me unbelievably Christ-centered, logical, sound advice. And anyway, I love them to death. I'm thankful for them. And it's crazy that I get to do life with my best friend. He's my actual brother-in-law, you know, that been best friends since we were little, and we married sisters and we go on family vacation. It's just, again, God wink, another God wink. So we do music. We end music. Mindy and I are married. We're in Texarkana. We're wanting to move to Fayetteville just to get out of Texarkana. We want to do something on our own. And my buddy who lives in Fayetteville says, hey, this is crazy, but I want you to move to Fayetteville and build these commercial buildings for me. And I was like, you have no idea. We've been wanting to move to Fayetteville. So came up, interviewed, and I swear to you, 3.5 weeks later, we were living in Fayetteville. and I was starting the permit process on these commercial buildings up here in Northwest Arkansas. That kind of long story short, that ended up turning into residential construction, and that turned into a 16-year business where I did residential construction in Northwest Arkansas, a really booming economy, and it was phenomenal. But in like 2016, I mean, we were rocking. We were building a lot of houses, but I just felt this check in my gut, like, this is not what I've created you to do. And I mean, it was hard because we were making good money and stuff, and the business was rocking, but I couldn't let it go. And I finally told Mindy one night, I said, I feel like God is telling me to do something different, like totally different. And I am tired of this rat race. Like, I'm not good at construction. I'm not like the best organizational guy or systems guy, but I'm good relationally. And that's what got me through. Right. So I was like, I'm kind of good at it, but I don't feel like I'm able to lean all into it. And I want to do something I can lean all into. And I feel like that's where this is coming from. And I mean, of course, Mindy, being like she is, she was like, well, let's do it. What do you want to do? And I said, I think I want to start a waterfowl outfitter. I want to take people duck hunting. Because I mean, that is the whole purpose of that, is the relational side of it, right? So anyway, I love to hunt and I love people, and called a couple of friends, and God's timing in their life was perfect. They were wanting to do it. And yeah, man, we formed FowlCo in 2017, bought the land 2018. No, I'm sorry. We bought the land in November of 2017, started construction April 18, and we're finished with the construction of everything September and fully booked year one. And we were just like, well, that was too easy. You know, like, I mean, I've never, a lot of times you ask for clarity from God and you ask him to show you what he wants you to do. But not every time does he lay every step out and go, hey, dumb butt, now you're going to step right here because I know you're so dumb. I need to point and show you. Yeah. You got to step here. Okay, now we're going to go right here. Good. And I felt like that's what it was like, all the way to the point where the construction was finished and fully booked. And I just remember the three of us going, God's up to something here. He's up to something here. So anyway, yeah, man, we've been going.
Hey, Dive, JD, go a little deeper on that. I mean, what are those conversations looking like? I mean, I won't say your age because I don't want to embarrass you, but you're not 21. You guys, you have, I mean, yeah, you used to have a little gray like me, buddy. And now you got a lot of gray.
It's a waterfall now. It's like Bear the other day, we're on the beach and Bear comes up and he goes, Dad, your beard is getting white. And I was like, I know, dude. And he just sat there and looked and he said, I liked it better when it was dark.
Sorry, dude.
You're like,
out of the wheel.
Yeah. So, you guys have families, you're established in your careers. To get three guys to leave what they're doing and jump in on something brand new is huge. And what do those conversations look like? I mean, you talked a little bit about that, that midlife grumbling discontentment of, you are good at what you're doing. It's putting food on the table. You could have, punched that clock for the rest of your life. You'd have done really well, but you wanted something different, and finding two other dudes that were good at what they do, that wanted the same thing. I mean, tell a little bit more kind of how that came together.
So Aaron Seiferts is one of my partners, and we met. So he was guiding at a place called Wildlife Farms for 10 years. Okay. His granddad was a famous game and fish commissioner in Arkansas. A lot of our WMAs in Arkansas are named after Casey Jones, his granddad. and his daddy was a dog trainer who trained all my dad's dogs. So I knew that Aaron was a savage hunter. I knew he's the real deal. He knew that I was a big hunter because he knew my dad. I mean, we knew a lot of the same people from the same area. He's from Pine Bluff. We're from Dumas. But I had never met Aaron. And so dude, I think, let's see, Lila was born 2009. 2010, I'm in Seaside on the beach with our family. And I'm holding Lila's hand on the beach, just her little finger. And we're sitting by she's like a year and a half. I think she's a year and a half at this point, maybe 2. So it might have been 2011. And I'm sitting there. I just remember she was so little. She was holding my pinky, and I was walking real slow, and she was taking baby steps in the ocean. And all of a sudden, this guy comes up to me, Aaron, and he goes, "Hey, man, I'm Aaron." I was like, "Hey, man, I'm John David." And he said, "How was your duck season?" And I was like, What do you, I mean, it was good, but he said, "Man, I was sitting over there and I was looking at you and I said, that's a rice farmer's son right there if I've ever seen one. And I bet he's got some good duck hunting places. I need to go meet him." And so I swear to you, that's how he came up and met me. So we get to talking, and this is just like God. And it turns out he lives one street over from me in Fayetteville. Then we put it together. Oh my gosh, your dad is Jerry Seifritz, who trained my dad's dogs. Your dad's Kenny Blagg. Oh my gosh, I've heard about you. I've heard about you. So we end up just becoming, tight, right? Like we're good buddies. We hunt together. I would go down to wildlife farms and help them every now and then when they needed help, and we turkey hunted together. And I don't know, how many of your people listening are turkey hunters, but turkey hunting is something that you don't just do with anybody. Like you got your buddy that is going to make the right move when you got to make a right move, and he's not going to dork it on a turkey. Like you don't like take. I don't really. I'll take like kids hunting, but it's just something that's my time, right?
Mm.
Well, we turkey hunted together, and then we were like, all right, we can really be friends now. So
it was good chemistry.
Oh yeah, the chemistry. There were
Let's
fireworks.
Let's go.
Fireworks. We killed 2 times. First time we went hunting, we're like, we'll do it again. Yeah, we'll do it again. So
hey,
anyway,
Mindy better watch out.
So Aaron had stayed we were friends, and I was doing construction, and I reached out to Aaron was training dogs. And so I called Aaron when I felt that night, and I said, "Dude, you might tell me I'm crazy, but I think I want to start an outfitter." And Aaron said, "Dude, I do too. And I want to do it now. Like I'm ready." All right. So there's Aaron. So we're ready to do it, right? All right. So let's back up a little bit before we actually, form the group. Josh Teff is another partner of mine. We went to church together, and everybody always assumed that I knew Josh and that he knew me, that we were close friends, but we weren't. But I would see him at church, and I'd be like, "God, that looks like somebody I'd be buddies with." And he would do the same thing with me. And people would always say, like, "I know you hunt with John David, right?" And he'd be like, "No, but everybody says it." And then people would ask me, "Did you and Josh hunt together this year much?" And I was like, "Dude, I don't even know the guy." So I'm taking Bear to get a haircut one day, and Josh is in there with his son. And I walk in, and we look at each other, and he goes, "John David Blagg." And I said, "Josh Teff." And we started talking, and boom, fast friends. This would have been probably in 2015. So pretty soon 2 years before we started FowlCo. And Josh was working at a place, he was running a waterfowl outfit for another person. I'm not going to say any names, but he was promised ownership and promised ownership and promised ownership, and just was never given the opportunity. And it was frustrating because he built that side of the business. So in his heart, he was ready to go. Right? He had built that business for that guy and was just never really rewarded for it. Praise God, he wasn't, right? And he would say that as well. Like, God knew, and his timing is perfect in this deal. So I had 2 guys that were ready to move. They were ready to do something different. And so I'll never forget this. Aaron and I were turkey hunting, and we had turkeys coming in. And Aaron is not real. He's not as outspoken spiritually. Like he's not going to say like the Holy Spirit's telling me. I feel like something's going on. I feel like God's telling me we got to do this. Well, turkeys are coming in, and that's like the moment you get your gun up and you get ready, right? And he leans around the tree and he goes, "Hey, we need to text Josh Teff right now, and we need to go have lunch on Monday and talk about this outfitter deal." And I was like, "Shut up. They're right here. Like these turkeys are gobbling coming in." And he was like, "Dude, I'm telling you, I hadn't felt this really before. I need you to text Josh Teff right now and tell him that we need to have lunch." And I was like, "Okay, my gosh." So I text Josh, put him on down. We kill 2 turkeys. We go home. And that Monday we go have lunch, and we leave the lunch with a name, with a rough design of our initial logo, and where we wanted to do it. So when you asked like the conversations with those guys, it was easy because they were ready. Yeah. With my wife, it was easy because she is just supportive to the end of the earth. Like I could say right now, like I feel like God's telling us to go to Africa. She'd be like, "I'll pack a bag." I mean, she's just down for whatever. And that's what's awesome. And I also think that she had the Holy Spirit working in her heart, like this is the direction that I was going to prepare for it. I think she knew.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she knew you weren't going to be a rock star?
Yeah, at this point, it was gone. Like we were done with that.
Did you burn her like a CD of duck songs to like tell her?
It was 2 hours of just me blowing a duck call. It was amazing.
Good. Hey, I have heard that sound, and it is like music to my ears. I mean, if I was a mallard, I'd come in a heartbeat.
I think that all the time too, Todd. I don't know why they don't always do it. It confuses me.
Hey, so I'd love for you to get a little bit kind of deeper, maybe a little more vulnerable on the marriage front. You guys live an unorthodox lifestyle. I mean,
you do.
Flat out. I mean, I can relate to some, but you've got a heavy season where you're grinding and you're gone for a long time, and it's a lot. And Mindy holds down the home front, and then you've got time where you're back. Like what does that look like for you? I mean, as a man, as a husband, you guys are living out your calling, and she's making sacrifices that look different than yours. I'm sure some people don't understand. What does that look like? What are the conversations? How do you love on her in a way that, makes her feel treasured and valued, even though it looks different than some other marriages?
That's a great question. We talk about this a lot. One of our guys that works for us is a former Special Forces guy and was deployed a lot. He was a Green Beret, and he says at the lodge, he said, "We live a deployment life," and that it really is like that, because we get to FowlCo and we go to work. It is not like we're having drinks with buddies or we're just staying up late and having a good time. No, it's like from 4:30 in the morning till 10 o'clock at night. We're on every day from 1st of November till middle of February. And at first, when kids were young, it was difficult. It was really difficult. And really, to be honest, that was before FaceTime was big. I mean, I don't know. Was it 2017? I mean, I don't even remember if you could FaceTime then. But communication was hard. Kids were young. Mindy she does everything when I'm gone, obviously. And when you have young kids that have to be 3 different places at one time, it's a lot. And we don't have any family here.
Yeah.
But we communicated well enough to get through it the first couple of years. I think it was really hard the first couple years because I would come home and still do construction. So I phased out of construction in 2020. When did COVID happen?
2020.
Yeah, it was 20 is when I finally sold to my partner in construction and completely got out. So until then, I was coming home and then going right back to work in construction. But Mindy saw, I think this is what really made her willing to fight for it, is she saw the ministry, the organic ministry that was happening at FowlCo. She saw it firsthand through people that were clients of ours that were going through some of the hardest stuff in their life, and they would just show up at my house for a weekend. They would call and say, dude, I need to I'm coming down there. I don't know what to do. And my kids would see it. My kids would see me and Mindy out praying next to our fire pit, and this client of ours that comes to hunt at FowlCo is sleeping in our guest bedroom, and we're praying by the fire pit and, having great conversation. I think like them seeing me feel alive and feeling like I have for sure found my purpose, I think was energizing for everyone. And so when Mindy saw that, and she knew that our plan was to phase out of construction and me do FowlCo full time, she was ready to fight to get to that point where I was doing FowlCo full time. And it's been a huge blessing because now when I get home, I'm home. Like I'm able to coach teams. I take kids to school in the morning. Mindy and I can date during the day. It's fantastic because they get all of me. And to be honest, what I would argue, and please know my heart in this is not a knock to anyone that has a 5 to 9 or 9 to 5 job or whatever. I truly think that my kids see me more than certain friends that I have that have taxing jobs that are daily in the hometown where their kids live. And I think my kids would tell you that too. And it's really kind of all they know. So, but as far as Mindy and I, it's been really cool. One of the things I loved about Mindy when we got married was the fact that she doesn't need me. Like she needs me for little stuff. Like she'll call me and say like, hey, how do I turn the TV on? That kind of like just bull crap. But like, she does not need me. She is so secure in who she is in Jesus. She doesn't need anyone. And that was super attractive to me that she is extremely independent, her personality anyway. I mean, we moved up here where no family is. So she was always one, she was going to move to New Zealand when we were dating, and I had to convince her not to keep dating me. I was like, I'll go with you one day if we, like we can do that together. She's just that personality type. So though it's been hard, it's really cool to see we've gotten really, I'm trying to find something wood to knock on. I feel like we've gotten really good at it. And our communication has had to be our communication has grown because it's all we had was just to communicate. I'm not there to help, but I can learn how to listen instead of trying to tell her to fix it, or I can learn how to just let her talk and know when to speak into something and know when to shut up. But I mean, dude, it's been great. It's been awesome. I think the hardest part is when I reincorporate into the home after a season, and she's like, "Hey, I don't need you. We got this. I've got this dialed. Like, you just sit back, and then you slowly, get back in." We laugh all the time about that.
Hey,
but
JD.
We're closer now than we ever have been. And I said that earlier. Today's our 20th wedding anniversary, and I know, dude, that's a big deal.
So you got married at 40 or 45? I mean, with all that gray. Come on. Hey, tell me. So go into. I want to get into FowlCo. What you guys do is incredible. I mean,
Thanks, man.
duck hunting is a redneck sport, like just flat out. The John Marshalls of the world don't want to do it because your waders fill up with water, and you're sitting there. It's uncomfortable. It just sucks. But what you guys do is phenomenal, and you are weaving in first class outfitting with incredible accommodations and food, and you're doing it for a purpose. And dude, those things are hard. I mean, at the end of the day, something has to trump. And you guys seem like you're holding attention really well, and having a huge impact on people's lives because you're intentional, and at the same time you're providing them a great service. Like talk about the DNA of that. How do you do it?
So another God thing. This is really awesome. So we were really prayerful on the kind of the vibe that we wanted our lodge to have. I'm a big proponent of, and this is in all of this, you just gotta, this is an experience that I've lived. So this is where this is coming from. But I'm a big proponent of, we need more men that are really good at what they do, that are organically having ministry. Not like, it could be somebody at a CPA office. If they're amazing at their job, people are going to listen to them differently, right? And so I love that when some of my family just got home. Speaking of 20 years, my smoking hot wife just walked in. And my gorgeous daughter. Okay, so, we were really prayerful about the vibe that we wanted FowlCo to have. And there's a buddy of mine of ours, Reagan Renfro. He's a phenomenal photographer in the outdoor space. He does a lot of work for Under Armour and a lot of big outdoor brands. He had started the year before like a men's group called The Purpose, and based out of Tulsa, but guys from all over were coming in. And these are guys within the industry that work. Some of them work within the outdoor industry, the hunting industry, to be exact, that were maybe influencers or, photographers. But at the end of the day, they love Jesus. And that Reagan started this group to kind of have a reset before these people go off into their jobs in the hunting industry. This is what we're focused on. Our focus is Christ. Let's be good at what we do. And anyway, it's an amazing group that we still to this day donate, 3 days of our lodge to that group to come. They were the first group to ever come to FowlCo. So we opened in 2018. The first group that comes is The Purpose. And they didn't know what to expect. There's this new hunting lodge in Oklahoma, blah, blah, blah. And some of these guys were guys that we would love to work with, we've followed their stuff and watched it. Anyway, we absolutely have the best 2 days of hunting and the best conversations and just the best time. The lodge was on point. Everything went well and people were blown away. Praise God. And they all started posting on social media about FowlCo, and it just blew up. That was the first group to ever come. Was a Christ-centered group that we donated a couple days to kind of let some of these people experience it, and the business really did take off from that. But we were prayerful, and the vibe that what I always tell people is, if either of my daughters are there, if they were there and they were uncomfortable, then there's something in my lives that I have to address right now. And that is how we've run that business from day one. We wanted to be a place that companies or people could send guys to entertain and know that it's going to be classy. It's going to be top tier, and there's not going to be anything sketchy going on. And so we didn't realize the appetite there was for that environment. And we stayed true to it. And there's been several groups that we've had to, tell them you're not invited back. There's been one guy that I called out to the fire pit and told him to come. He can get his jet to come pick him up in Enid, and I'll take him to the airport, and y'all can carry this on in Vegas if you'd like, but you're not going to be here anymore. And I really think that when you do that, the group of 8 that is coming in with the group of 8, they don't know each other. They're going to love each other because, we were blessed to be in a position to where we could tell people you're not coming back. This is the type of people we want here. And then there's also been people that started out night one, a certain direction, and we had a conversation, and they've been some of our most faithful clients and have come to Christ, and, real life changes happened. So, we're not a Christian hunting lodge. We're a hunting lodge.
Yeah.
We are good at what we do. And you're going to have a great experience at FowlCo. But when the opportunity presents itself, we're absolutely going to talk about what matters. And that is what Jesus has done in our life.
Let's go. I love that. JD, you're one of the most positive people that I've ever been around. I mean, whatever's in front of you is like the best ever. I mean, this is the best hamburger I've ever had in my entire life.
I get that all the time.
I mean,
I get. Is this another one of your best friends, John David?
Yeah.
Hey, dude. Hey. So, but I think that's your spiritual gift. Like, I think you make people feel cared for. You love on folks well. Like, man, I think contentment and joy in the Lord, it just matters. Like, we should never have a bad day. If God's at work, it may not turn out the way we want. But I say that to say most things in your life, they seem up and to the right. You got a positive attitude, but the show's called Unstuck and Alive. And so I want to know, when you look back on your life, where do you feel like there were places you got stuck? Like, you felt like you were, hitting your head against a wall, or you just felt like it wasn't working. And what helped you get through that? Like, how did those moments provide catalytic opportunities for you to grow in the Lord and become the man you are today?
Man, that's a great question. And I think, when I was talking about, I felt the Lord telling me to do something else. I really do think that in construction, I felt stuck. I felt like I was growing this business, and I literally was stuck financially, with loans, with certain things that, like, I had to see to fruition to get out of, right? But I think that that every time I have started to feel stuck, like, that is an example. And I remember Mindy even saying to me, like, hearing me talk to one of my subs one time, who I loved. I mean, I had great relationships with my subcontractors. And I remember her saying, like, do you talk to them like that all the time? Like, who are you? And I was like, well, I'm not like dilly-dallying with it. Like, we've got to get stuff done, and this is what needs to happen, and they messed up and they need to fix it. And I started to just kind of see myself not, like, I wasn't friendly anymore. I was starting to lose that. And I think that, kind of like, before I really came to Christ and I just saw myself going in a certain direction, I could kind of see that happening again. I could see me. I was thinking about financially my gains, but I wasn't seeing my losses. I wasn't seeing where I was not John David Blagg. I was starting to be JD Blagg LLC, and that was not. I did not like that. And again, I think, like you did when I came to Christ, the Holy Spirit took me to the mat over it. And I do think that is where the desire and the realization that I needed to do something different. And I also think that that was one of the things that Mindy was on board for too. It was like, yeah. I mean, like, I can see where you might want to go a different direction.
Yeah.
So that question,
JD?
how do you get unstuck? Every time it's been Jesus. It's been, I think I'm so dumb that he has to be so obvious with me that you've got to go this way. And I wish that I could go back and follow that nudge every time he gave it to me. But I'm thankful that I did with this one.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, JD, I appreciate you sharing that. One of the things that I'm curious about, just for people that are listening, when it was, I'm leaving this, I'm going to do this, like, where did the duck hunt, like, where did that come from? Was it like, did you feel pulled towards that? Or it's like, I just got to do something so different than what I'm doing? Because I think a lot of people, please.
No, I'm sorry. Finish your thought.
No, I think that, that's a big departure. I mean, if you look at your life, you can see it's all the way back to your dad. You've been around it your whole life, but is it like, what was it like? How did you discern that was the thing?
To be honest, kind of like I said, I was not the best contractor. I was good because of my relational skills. I could get through any conversation we needed to have, or I was good at dealing with the bank, but I was not the best contractor. And I think that I really started like, what am I really good at? Like, what am I really good at? And I was like, I'm a really good, I mean, might sound arrogant, but in my head, I'm like, I'm a really good duck hunter. Yeah. Duh. That's what I need to do. I mean, like, my dad did it. Like, it can be done. And I wanted to do it.
But guiding is more than that. Oh, what else are you really good at?
Yeah, right. Yeah, I mean, and I did really kind of pick that apart of like, what was I good at in construction? Again, I go back, it was the relational side of it. Like, I was good at making friends. I was good at being able to find common ground with people quickly. Find the common ground quick, lean into it, and build a real relationship. And you look back at all the stuff that I've done. I mean, from farming to music to college football to construction, being into all kinds of weird music that like people at a duck lodge normally probably wouldn't be into. Like, if we have if a dad brings his son and his son's kind of like sulking in the corner and he's wanting to listen to Radiohead, I can talk to him about Radiohead because I know every album. Like, I think that I'm thankful for the path that seemed confusing during the time. Like, where are we going with this? Like, I'm going over here. No, that's not. I'm going over here. That's not it. I'm going over here. That's not it. And I look back now and I go, that's why. Because anybody that comes into that lodge, I can find something that we have in common. And we're going to land on it quick. I'm going to find it. I'm going to fill him out, and we're going to land on it quick. And he's going to be my buddy. If he thought he was going to come to this lodge with his dad's friends or this other guy in a business that got drug along because the CEO wanted him to be there, he doesn't want to be there. I want him to feel welcome. I want him to think, gosh, I'm surprised. That was a blast. I was going duck hunting. I didn't think I was going to like enjoy conversation. Like, that's what I want people to feel when they come to FowlCo. I don't care what your background is, where you come from. It doesn't matter. I want you to feel love. We all do, not just me. We all do. And I do think that is something that we've done well is love on people really well when they get there, no matter where they're at. So
it's good. What are you guys dreaming about? When you think about the future, you guys got a wait list out the door. You're working on a second property. Like, what do y'all sit around the fire and dream the crazy what ifs?
Well, man, the crazy what ifs are in motion right now.
Come on.
We brought a financial partner on last year, and has gotten to be not just a financial partner. Like, he's my age. just a dear friend to every one of us, and encourager. He's an incredible encourager, and he's done extremely well in his career to the point where he sold it, and he has a family office, and he is passionate about recreational properties, specifically waterfowl properties. And so he partnered with us to utilize our brand, which is what we were praying for. Like, the outfitter is enough. But I want to, the way I'm wired and the way Josh and Aaron are wired, we want to keep going. And anyway, so we are buying and developing waterfowl properties. We just are in the process of wrapping up our first one, Boggy Creek down in southeast Oklahoma. And we have a couple more under contract right now. One really big one. I can't wait to talk about more at some point, not this podcast right now. And but it's just really fun. A lot of fun stuff's happening. Our buddy that I alluded to earlier, that was Green Beret, Holt. He works for us full time now. Phenomenal human, always dialed. And randomly, we have several, retired SEALs or SF guys that hunt with us, and they always said, "Y'all need to do a shooting facility here. Y'all need to do a shooting facility here." Well, I'm not like going to teach Green Berets how to shoot pistols. Are you kidding me? Like, I'm not going to teach. I can shoot a pistol, but that's just not my lane. And Holt would come up and hunt when he was on dwell, is what they call it, like in between deployments. And he was sleeping in my other bed in my room, and we were about to go to sleep one night, and he said, "We need to do a shooting facility here." And I said, "Hold on. You said we." And
pronouns matter.
100%. And he said, "Absolutely, because that's what I want to do when I get out." So he was able to med retire out this last March, and we did all the infrastructure, the dirt work last year. We got it complete, and we're developing a state-of-the-art shooting facility at FowlCo, tactical and long-range facility. And Holt's going to get to run that, and I'm thankful that he gets to do that, because he's a special dude, and he is going to absolutely crush it. So,
come on,
man, it's there's a lot of stuff happening, and it's awesome. And it's, you said earlier when you were asking about Mindy and I, but and how we do it. Oh gosh, crap! I just lost my train of thought. Maybe it'll come back to me. Oh, it was so good too. It was gonna be so good.
It was great. All right, I'm gonna give you a rapid fire. We'll get back there. Best hunt day you've ever had in your life. Rapid fire. You don't have like 10 minutes. That you've ever had.
That I've ever had?
Yeah. Just like what is one day?
Okay, easy.
In the world
of Bear, it was a youth hunt. Everybody could not come to FowlCo. We were going to have a big youth hunt with all these kids. We had bad weather. My family had already come up. Me, and it's a youth and veteran hunt. So one of our guys that works for us, that runs our upland side, does all our upland hunts. He's a former Marine. And so me and Craig and Bear were hunting on the levee down at the wetland, just the three of us. And Bear was 6. And our goal was for him to get his first duck. This one pintail comes in perfect, right to left. Bear's laying right here next to me. I said, "Kill him right now, Bear." He gets up and shoots, and I hear another shot, and the duck falls. And I hear Craig go, "Great shot, Bear." And I look at him. I'm almost pissed off. I look at him and I go, "Craig, you don't have to do that, dude. We want him to actually get his first duck." He said, "He killed it. That's his duck. Mine's back here." And he walked back and got another pintail that he had shot, and behind him, he said, "Bear killed that one." Hands down, that was my favorite hunt at FowlCo to date.
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on. What's your dream hunt?
My dream hunt is on this new property that we'll talk about at some point. Okay. Can't wait.
Come on. As long as I get an invite, that's all that matters. Let's go. You're laying in your casket and your family is over you, friends. What are 3 words that they're going to describe you as?
Helpful, loving friend.
Let's go. Hey, how can people find information about FowlCo, about what you guys are up to? I know you guys are booked out and have a wait list, but if somebody wants to take a corporate group, or if somebody's just looking to get in on a one-off trip, how do they stay up with you and what y'all are up to at FowlCo?
Well, our social media is pretty active, all of the social medias, but FowlCo _Outfitters, I believe. I'll check that out, make sure. It's pretty sad. I don't know exactly what it is, but
just call Todd.
Sure that's what it is.
Get you in.
Huh?
Just call Todd.
FowlCo _Outfitters. Yeah, FowlCo _Outfitters. Or you can go to www.fowlcooutfitters.com. Yeah, okay. Man.
JD, seriously, I have tremendous respect for you. You're one of those guys that you could be good at a lot of things, like building homes and things like that. You're hardworking, but your superpower is the way you care for folks, relationships. You make people's day, and it's been really cool to see the Lord bring your passion for duck hunting. But it's not just that. Like what you're doing now is you get to sit in duck blind and call ducks in and be a part of a first-class outfitter, but you get to love on people that need to be loved on. And man, we're cheering you on. It's great to see the Lord just bless it and just create an open door for it. And I love you.
I'm not gonna lie, you were a big inspiration for me with Way Forward. When I got to come experience that, dude, I knew I wanted to be in that space. When did y'all start? When did I go on trail? I can't remember what year that was.
I was trying to remember when you were telling the story of the timeline. We were walking down Rock Valley and you were talking about FowlCo, but it didn't have a name. You were talking about doing duck hunting with some way forward flair on hospitality. But I almost feel like it was more in the dream stage. But you might have had a conversation or two with the partners. I don't remember what year it was.
It was before we started. I know that. It was
okay. I know it was before you started, but I can't
16
remember.
or 17.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
You guys do it well. And anybody that can be holding on to a Yahoo email address, brother, I just commend you. You are tech savvy.
I'd have a flip phone if I could.
You can do it for a month, but it's pretty tough after that. I can tell you that much.
Are you still rocking flip phone? Dude,
no, I went back. It's a month experiment. I think I might do a month every year. It's too good. Yeah. But it's miserable. Literally, when I opened up my phone, there was 250 text messages that came in on my iPhone that did not ever go to the flip. So I start responding to them, and one guy said, "Bro, that was a month ago." Like,
yeah, it's good for you, but it's not efficient, right?
It is, yes. It's good for me, but a lot of apologies, and I don't know that it's practical.
Guys, JD, thank you all so much.
Thanks for sharing your story, man.
I love this.
Yeah, it was awesome, man. Thank you.
Thanks for your time, brother. Blessings to you. Happy anniversary.
Bye.
All right, man. Take care.